All right. I think it's live. And I think the microphone is picking up stuff. So today I'm going to do another mini that is adjacent to Earthborne Rangers. It's not one of the Rangers, and I have our other adjacent minis in the background. Got Pakoto, Oru, Riri, and the Kleptomaniac Raccoon back here. Today's miniature is a little spoiler miniature, kinda. So be warned now that if you don't want spoilers, there's going to be a little bit of a spoiler here. I'm going to zoom this in, and you can see the our other friends back there. Oh, and I just screwed up my camera arm. Hey, Janet. I got my shipping notice 2 days ago. Is that right? What's today? I think I got it on Tuesday. Yes, and it finally started seeing some movement today. I was really hoping it was going to be here before this weekend, but probably not. So I've been occupying myself with other things and things related to this game. But today, so last chance, last warning about the spoiler on today's miniature. This is a card that you will encounter probably during the game. So here it is. This is going to represent Quiet. This one actually came with stuff on its resin base, and then I attached it to one of my extra bases that matched the bases that I based all the other little characters on. So I think we're just going to start with the stuff on the base because I want to get a wash on it and give it time, give the wash time to dry before stuff starts getting dry brushed. So we will just start there. We're going to do gray for the rocks, and we'll put some dirt color down. This probably is not going to take very long. There's not a whole lot of detail to add to this miniature. I will show a reference photo from on my phone a little bit later when we actually get to painting the stuff that's not part of the basing. So I'm going to leave, and for this I don't usually go too crazy with trying to be super accurate because it's going to get covered with a wash and it's like ground and dirt and stuff. So we'll have some rocks and some dirt. So surprisingly enough, as much as I like painting, I don't know what I was thinking when I was doing my order on the Kickstarter for this game, but I did not order the miniatures. So that's not coming in my Kickstarter box. I did, however, pick them up from Team Covenant, so when Team Covenant gets their orders in and ships them, then I'll have the pewter Ranger miniatures. All right, dirt applied. I want to go with a lighter gray because it's going to get the wash on it. It's cold gray. Should be fine, especially because of the way that the animal is going to be painted. Kind of darker colors. And again, I'm not too worried about like this gray and the brown even mixing a little because, you know, rocks get dirty on occasion. For pewter, well, so like Bakoto here, he was pewter, or he is pewter. The Riri's pewter, and the raccoon is pewter. I would just make sure that you wash it off before you start painting it, just in case there's mold release on it. I don't know if they still use mold release on pewter miniatures. I know they use it for resin miniatures. Because if there's mold release on the miniature, the primer that you put on it could flake right off because the primer is not going to stick. The whole point of the mold release is for it to not stick. So if the mold release is still on there, it could make your primer not stick. But then after you prime it, it should be just like painting anything else because you're just putting the acrylic paint on the primer like you would if it was a plastic miniature. It's going to be heavier, chunkier. Stone, stone. Stone. There's actually some decent claws on these paws that we could probably hit. Okay, so it's very blocky coloring right now. But after we get a wash on it and do a little dry brushing, it'll come out nice. Yeah, your primer should work fine. But again, just make sure that it's clean and dry. You got to let it dry after you wash it up. I have a toothbrush that I use for resin miniatures and stuff. Just hit it lightly just to make sure you're getting anything that might be on there off. All right, so we have a base coloring on our dirt and stones. I want more. My brush was kind of wet when I started, which is you usually want these thin coats, which is fine. Especially the way I have it primed and undercoated with the white primer on top of the black primer. Okay, so let's take a quick peek at some reference art. So, warning again, spoiler incoming. Maybe I can zoom it in enough where it's less spoilery. Okay, so here is a picture of the being that we're depicting today with this miniature. And it's kind of like blue. Gray, dark gray, blue, blue gray. So we're going to try to do that. I'm going to put a dark gray undercoat, and then we'll heavy dry brush some dark blue, and then maybe try to add some a little bit lighter blue dry brush highlights. I really like the miniature that I found for this one. I like the way that the ears are kind of showing you the same kind of cat like features. The miniature actually had like big teeth, like saber cat teeth that I filed off of there. You probably never would have noticed or known if I had said anything, but the reference picture doesn't have that, so we got rid of those to make it look more like the picture. Okay, so I'm going to start with this dark gray undercoat, and then I'm going to go with this dark blue heavy dry brush, and then we'll lighten this up maybe with like this blue. And I don't know, originally I was kind of thinking that maybe it needed some purple in it, but looking more and more at the picture, I don't know. Purple's maybe not the right way to go. I don't think so. I don't know. It's pretty light blue on the highlights. And I'll try to get some yellow in the eyes and a little bit of pink on the nose, but the eyes on this thing are so small on the miniature. And the eyes might look weird if they're just yellow without a pupil. We can definitely hit the nose with some pink, but the eyes might be a stretch. Might be too much of a stretch. And if it is from the shadows, then mine is going to be constantly in the shadows. All right, let's get some gray down. Let me put this other light gray away. I also have this shadow gray. I wonder if I should do that one instead. Because it's already a little blue. Yeah, I'm going to switch to this one. So we're going with this because it's already a little bit blue. I'll do this one. Quite too dark. I like the kind of like muted, because this one is actually dark gray blue. This is what they even called that color. Yep, it's fine. It's gonna be fine. Everything's fine. Don't need a whole lot. And I think I will switch to, let's try this one. Super cheap brush. This is just going to be like an undercoat. See if it dries down a little bit darker. Just trying to get a mixture on the animal of grays and interesting blues. Probably want to get the wash on the base before I start dry brushing. There might have to be some back and forth on this just because I want to do dry brushing on the base and dry brushing on the animal itself. It's too much paint. So with that much dry brushing, I'm bound to hit parts of stuff that I've already quote unquote finished. A little thick in that eye, so I was trying to use some water and then a dry brush to pull the paint out of there. So I don't want this to be a super thick layer that covers up the furry textures and stuff. Yeah, it's some kind of large cat like animal. It might actually even say links on the card. I'll look in just a second. I'm using a wet palette, so I'm not like too concerned about my colors drying out. It is a lynx. In the flavor text, it talks about it being a lynx. It was kind of a fun journey also, just browsing eBay and Amazon and other miniatures places looking for miniatures to use as proxies for these animals, which are essentially just table decoration. And for me, they'll be, stuff to go in the stream. Yes, it is quiet. I like to do little slide shows at the beginning of the videos of any painted miniatures that I'll be using in the game. Although for this, if I'll probably start recording stuff as soon as I get my package, so I won't have the Pewter Rangers done before I start recording, so they won't be in the first couple. Although we'll see, maybe I'll power through 2 of them. Because the UPS app says the box is supposed to be here Tuesday, and I'm leaving Monday for a business trip for a couple of days. I'm hoping that the UPS driver goes super quick. Is that in the flavor text? Bearded lynx with a white coat of fur? It could be that she's in the shadows. I still want to do it this color scheme because I have Oru, who's like all white and not in view. Well, his body's all white. Just makes it look more menacing too if it just looks like Quiet is in the shadows, stalking the Rangers or other prey. Predators and prey can interact with each other in this game. Campaign item 52. Oh, that's in the book. Maybe my last highlight will be some white on Quiet's face then. Okay, we're kind of in a drying step. I probably could put the wash on the base. I almost wonder, since I switched gears, if dark blue should have been the undercoat. We'll see what it looks like. They don't all have to be the same color, right? Let's see, where is the first shade? Here we go. It's been fun too, trying to match some of the art, like Riri here. The art on Riri's card, there was like some blue green on the edge of the wings. So there's lined with green, and then on the bottom of Riri's tail too, it's green. It's not really easy to tell with that view. And again, these miniatures are so small. I think I showed it last time. Oh no, it was Picoto. Like, look at how big Picoto is compared to my pinky. Pretty small. Even though I like Oru's probably my favorite card in the game, the Kleptomaniac Raccoon I think just came out fun. He even looks like I didn't do it. It's not you caught me with all this stuff I stole. And I tried to find stuff that looks like things from the game, like the adaptable multi-tool, boundary sensors, hiking stave, and like some boots and a little pouch thing. They are small, but I think they will be scaled nicely with the pewter miniatures that they have for the game. Okay. Want some nice shadows to be created with this wash on the base. All right. Move the light over so it's not as much overhead. Okay, let's just start adding some color. Have some fun with the colors. Hey, Chub Rock, what's going on? Yeah, I think the raccoon might be my favorite mini too. All right. I don't want to go overboard with this. If quiet is supposed to be white, but I kind of liked the idea of the colors, blue colors from the card. So we're just going to get a hint of this on here. Which is hardly coming through at all on the camera. Try to not pick up the wash while I'm doing this also. I mean, if I wasn't streaming, I probably would have just set it down and let the wash dry. Just to make sure. Okay, now we've got an interesting blue gray kind of undercoat. Let me try to lock the focus. That didn't work. The phone camera wants to like keep looking at the guys in the background. All right, come on, camera. Sorry about the shaking. I'm trying to get it to stay. How do I switch this to manual? This is a really old iPhone. Oh, thanks, Janet. Yeah, I thought the basing was going to be pretty important because of the setting. And not just the setting, but it adds some more color because we've got a brown ferret in Picoto. We've got a gray raccoon. Oru's got some more color, but then Riri also is mostly brown. Plus the stick that Riri is sitting on is just more brown. So is this going to be even enough of a difference? Maybe not. Yeah, and I think going back to another white highlight underneath this blue is actually going to be kind of neat looking. Oh, thanks. Is it Davi or Davy? I've heard people on different streams say it different ways when I've seen you in chat. The minis are from a couple of different sources. Hang on one second. I might actually have one of the packages. They're from various like either eBay or Amazon purchases. Davi, that's what Andrew says. David, but without the last D, so Davi. Okay. Davi. Davi. Okay. So Janet read me the flavor text, or not the flavor text, the campaign guide entries in it. Quiet is supposedly a white lynx, but the card art is more bluish, probably like she said in shadows or something. Rotate this a little bit. So now we've got an under shading done. I think we're just going to go straight up to some white. Oh, I was going to show you the miniatures. Where? Oh, okay, there we go. So this is one of them. It was a Reaper mini set that had like a bunch of different familiars in it. So the ferret for Picoto and the bird for Riri, actually, and the kleptomaniac raccoon, I think were all from sets that were supposed to be D&D, like D&D familiars for a wizard. Oru came from a set that was called like Adventure Dogs or something. And there's more of them. There's different Adventure Dog sets. Yeah, it's very shadowy in the art. So we'll leave I'll leave the base like this gray and blue, and then we'll go with white highlights. And then we have to wait for that wash. You can still see like the shiny parts in the wash are still wet parts. But we can... maybe before I do the white, I think I'm going to try to do the eyes. I could instantly regret this decision, but we've got our other colors to cover them up. So here's some more of the Adventure Dogs. These I'll probably like paint up with my the section of one of her ears torn off. Oh, well, my quiet's going to be fully eared. I don't know how to say that right. But then the quiet miniature was a miniature that I found on eBay. Like some kind of mountain wildcat or something. And I was talking about at the beginning, the miniature came actually with two big saber-tooth teeth in the mouth that I filed off because I did not want those big teeth on there. To get rid of those. Yeah, it's the one that appears in the prequel, yeah. There's yellow eyes in the photo also, so my issue with trying to do the eyes is that if they don't have pupils, they're probably going to look weird. We'll see. And I'm not going to go straight up yellow. We're going to go with this like golden brown color. So this would be like a super bright straight up yellow. But I'm going to do this golden brown, I think. We'll try it, and if it doesn't look good, then I'm just going to cover it back up with the other colors. And I've got time while this wash is drying anyways. And those colors, I mean, like I said earlier, I'm using a wet palette, so they're sitting on a wet palette. They're not going to dry anytime soon. My super high-tech, expensive wet palette. That's totally a joke, by the way. My wet palette is a piece of Tupperware with paper towel and parchment paper in it. But it works just fine. Okay. Is there even enough paint on the brush after I wiped it off? Barely, to get a hint. I don't know, maybe it doesn't need pupils. We'll see, because I'm probably going to want to go around the outside to refirm up the shape of the eye. Yeah, I thought about that too. Honestly, I was just a little impatient. Okay, if they're going to be that big, in focus they don't look that big. Hero Forge has a dog. Yeah, I had to do some sculpting on Oru too because Oru actually had armor like all the way on his front and underneath. And I wanted to be able to see more white. So I green stuffed over a lot of the armor that was on the dog and then sculpted in a little bit of fur. So I had more fur surface area to work with. And he still has a lot of armor on him. But he came with those packs and he came with this staff on the side, which I think looks like one of the conduits for a shaper. So my Oru is a shaper shepherd companion. All right. Now we can try to do a trick. Where are my pins? Where's my pin? If it's still even out here. Ooh, there's one. So I've got a pin here. And I'm going to try to use to make the pupil. One of the issues you could run into with trying to do something with this such a small amount of paint in an acrylic is it literally will dry before you get it from the palette to the miniature. Yeah, it's not even getting in to the groove on the sculpting. Try the other side first. No, I can't get past the sculpting. It's so small. With the pin, what do I have as far as it's teeny tiny? All right, let's try this one. No, it's about the same as this. That's not too bad. What do you think? I think it came out okay. I just got to be careful with the dry brushing now. Part of the face, which means I might want to use a different dry brush, especially since I'm going to use white. I usually am too, Janet. Eyes are like a very practiced thing, and usually the way that I have to end up doing eyes is you have to exaggerate. You have to exaggerate the eye, then you have to exaggerate the pupil, and then go back in with the flesh or the face color and reshape the eye. But I think this is okay. Even like from far away, tabletop view. I think it looks okay. Now I just got to be careful not to cover it up with dry brushing of white. Yeah, I'm happy I did that now. All right, so we could use this one. Oh man, it's frozen solid. Let that hang out in the water for a second. You. Sorry, I bumped the camera again. We will also, once I do the base dry brushing, we'll put some black on the claws. Tiny bit of white. And my, once again, super expensive, high-tech dry brushing palette, also known as cardboard. Oh. This brush might be too wet to use for dry brushing. That's why it's called dry brushing. Let's see. Very delicate. Around those newly painted eyes. And we're going to put some pink on the nose. We don't want to go overboard here either. With this, I see a little spot right back there that didn't get any gray on it. That's going to have to be gone over. I don't think I actually want to do too much more of the white. Well, I didn't even touch the thing, and now it says manual focusing. I think that's good. You said paint, but let's try this flesh tone. See how that looks on the nose. So small. All right. It looks like... No, the wash still isn't quite dry. I need to get underneath there. No one's ever going to see it, but I know it's there. Hmm. I don't have a brush that can fit in there. It's a little teeny tiny one. That'll have to do. Okay. We need like a tan, khaki, something or other. Do you want to go all the way up to bone white? I think that's what I did. No. We'll see. We can always put a darker color over it, I guess. Davia, if you're still there, do you have your copy yet? I can't remember from following the different discussions on the Discord. What did I do with that pin? It's not something I usually like to lose track of. Throw it away. Oh, there it is. Seems like they're getting them out faster. Like Chub Frog said earlier on the Discord, like 3 days in a row with new shipping notifications. When they went like 8 days in a row without anything. I think between the Kickstarter, like I realize not everybody's active on the Discord, but between Kickstarter comments and the Discord, it was quite obvious that there were several days where nothing was moving. I don't know if that needs to be the gray. I might not touch it too much more because I'm going to put some landscaping on here too. I thought about adding a stick. My stick collection for basing stuff. Is this too big? This is probably too big. That's too big. Oftentimes the little twigs and sticks and stuff from trees around your house will look like properly scaled logs for your minis. That might blend in too much. Then I could put a little tuft of grass right behind it. That might be kind of cool. We'll keep it out. See how things go with the basing. Could go a little skinnier too. Yeah, it's pretty interesting that Ludofact didn't label the packages, or the cases, I mean. Yeah, we could put a little bush or a tuft of grass back behind it. What do you think? It's so close to matching the dirt color though. Like it's hard to even see it. I don't know, we'll see. We'll leave them out. Play around with it. It might stick out more once we get some grass tufts and stuff on there. Or I could always add grass to it. Just like static grass or this stuff, whatever it's called. But let us do some nails, some claws, some toenails. Oops. just need a little tiny bit of paint because the nails are super small. All right. Got distracted by the basing again. That stuff dried too, so I shouldn't say I got distracted, but one of those went a little long. Blend it in. I was having fun with Kinfire Chronicles. I have a couple of more episodes recorded that I just haven't released yet. And I don't know, it could be a dumb reason, but I actually was really busy during the month of October. And I wanted to get some variety on the channel instead of just only posting the Kinfire videos. I'll have some time in November and December before tax season starts again to play more stuff and record some stuff. The way that particular claws are sculpted is not my favorite part of the miniature. I have to reclaim some of this. I think that's fine. These are just table decoration. A way to engage with the game while I wait for it to arrive. I hope the guy driving my UPS truck across the country is a fast truck driver. Maybe he'll get here early. Do some basing. I want to put something in that little cranny, either a bush or a tuft of grass. If I put a bush there, or maybe a tuft of grass there, a little bush in the front. Yeah. Yeah, I know Fisher's working on the RPG, but they haven't really said a whole lot more about it since that one. Uh, well, it wasn't just one, but they haven't said a whole lot about it lately. Okay, do I want to do some kind of stick or just some kind of log? I mean, it's just more brown. It'd give you room to put a big bush back there, I guess. And a little tuft of grass on the end here, and then maybe another one back there. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do first? I'm gonna paint the rim, so I don't have to worry about maybe accidentally hitting the. Oh yeah. Fisher. They did just have their baby. Did they call for? I can't remember if they asked for playtesters or not. If they had got that far for the RPG. Just saw part of the rim that, or not the rim, but a piece of this that didn't get paint on it. So it's gonna be very brown till I mix in some gray. You know, the computer really wants to tell me something. Yeah, I missed it. I might have to put a wash on this part to dull down some of that. Now bright brown. That's cool. And what I'm actually hoping is like in the expansion or in the new campaign, the the new companions or the new creatures and stuff that you can encounter that I'm going to want to do are like already in the sets that I've already bought. There's probably not going to be another dog, but there could be like a frog. I think I've got a frog, a turtle. There's a bat. There are bats, but I don't really care about the bats. There's a wolf. So we'll see. I should ping the Andrews and be like, look, can you design these animals into the game for me since I already have the minis for it? That'd be swell. Oh no. Super glued to my finger. Stay on the mini, not my finger. Oh, you did? If I'd have known that, I would have hit you up a long time ago to make my requests. Oh, that's cool. Okay, we're gonna put a big, well, not a big bush, but we'll put a bush back there. Two grass tufts. I only did one coat. And I got distracted. Okay, greenery. Where's the greenery? That might be too big. My kindergartner glue. There we go. How dry is that? Okay, good. Super glue, so it should dry fast. And I like using this PVA glue for these bushes so it'll soak into it. Add more stability. Because these bushes can fall apart easily because it's just, I mean, I keep calling it a bush because that's what it's going to look like on the miniature, but this really is just sponge. It's painted sponge. Yeah, don't spoil anything, especially now because you've got Chub Frog all excited that there might be a frog. You could just print out a picture of a frog and paste it over one of the beings. Like I don't care what your card is, but mine's a frog. I think I want this bush to extend a little bit further, so I'm getting some more out of there. And then we're gonna be done with that. So it's a toad. He's not gonna be disappointed. Heard it here first. Or it's something chubby. Something else chubby. Tweezers. Get in there, soak up the glue so you'll stay in there. Tufto grass. This one is the winner. A little extra super glue. And some tweezers. Tufto grass. And we will add one more small one of the mixed green variety. Back here. Oops. Just one. This is more medium than small. I just looked in my package. I don't have a whole lot of small ones left, so we'll go with medium. I think it can handle it. And just like that. Yeah, I think it looks nice. It's like that's how it was growing out. I think that's going to be quiet. Oh, that's cool. The custom Oru card. Oh, there's another reward card that I saw Chub Frog playing with yesterday that I think is going to be hard to find a proxy for. What is it called? Stilt horse or something like that? Just because the neck is so long, it's almost like a stunted giraffe kind of with the length of the neck in the art. I've been watching Chub Frog play a lot. I don't think it's that much of a spoiler for me for my campaign because I have a hard time remembering that kind of stuff. Rules I can usually remember pretty well, but story stuff's usually not that much of a spoiler for me to watch. But I think the horses would be kind of cool to find. I don't think llamas would have if I found a llama miniature, I don't think that would have a thick enough of a neck to match the art. Or I could try to find a horse and like cut it and resculpt the neck. But I doubt that would come out looking right compared to the art. All right, next thing is to get quiet off of the, yeah, llama is an idea. But they have just such a unique look in the art on the card. I don't want to be too rough with this because some of that might still be drying. All right, there we go. The newest member of the crew. There's a real shiny spot on that claw. Thanks, Janet. I still like the way the raccoon is like looking right at you. Like, me? Not me. I didn't do it. I did not steal these things. So I got to take a picture of Quiet and then the new crew and put it up on the Discord. But I think that's going to be it for me tonight. Probably it for Earthborne Rangers painting until my minis, my pewter minis arrive. So that'll be whenever Team Covenant sends them out. So there'll probably be gameplay before there's more painting for this game anyway. Okay, yeah, thanks for coming by, Dobby. And thanks everybody else for coming. It's a nice, I think that's a nice little close-up at the end there of all of them. But I'm probably going to take it into my light box to get a better lighting picture of Quiet. Oh yeah, cool, Dobby. I haven't seen, I mean, I've looked at them a little bit, but I haven't seen the bases of the minis. I don't know how big the bases are. So I might actually go a little nuts with the bases on the Rangers. These are like 30 millimeter, but I have some 50s, I think. Yeah, I might put the Rangers on these, although they would take up more space on the cards when the Ranger tokens are supposed to be all on a card, but I mean, it's not like the mini can't just be next to the card, right? There's going to be text covered up anyway, even if they're just 30 millimeter bases like these. So we'll see. I can either do that, or sometimes I have to cut my own bases for things if I'm doing stuff for a contest or whatever. So I might cut some wooden blanks. I've got one right here, a wooden blank that I could use. Just cut some more to base it. I kind of have an idea for like the Explorer Mini to be like really up on a bunch of rocks. And maybe the Forager, not the Forager. The Conciliator, maybe? I don't know. So the specialties are Guardian, Explorer, Shaper, and Conciliator, right? I don't know. I was trying to think of one to do with the Forager that, but that's a background, not a specialty. Because I got a bunch of flowers and stuff, so I was thinking about doing a one that's really surrounded by a lot of vegetation type stuff. Anyways, that's a problem for future me. Okay, again, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoy everything I'm putting up on the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.